knew that someday I would want the machine to be able to perform in water. And so I bought the Garrett Ace 350. And I did take it out to a property one time, and I did find some boundaries. Somehow I lucked upon them. I may have actually seen them visually, but I never really understood the machine, and that the 350 didn't have any of the digits that show up. It's just the tone. You hear the tones, and then the little lines that would go across the top. But I struggled. And so I really never learned to use it. I would just pull it out maybe every year or two and just experiment, like, oh, here, I'm going to try this again. But I just never had anyone around me that did that sort of thing, or that I could learn from, until I met Gypsy. And that was last July. And then just watching her videos and watching instructional videos, and like, okay, I think I can get this, and then finally realizing you just have to put the time in, just put the time in behind it. But so that's how it all got started. And so once I kind of proved to myself that this was a hobby that I was going to stick with, then now I bought myself a Garrett Apex, and I felt like, what a huge, much more, I don't know how much more advanced, obviously it is, but it felt just more user-friendly to me, and with, the help of Gypsy, of course.
Fantastic. And it is true, yeah. The more time you put in with your machine, the better off you are understanding it.
Absolutely.
I'd say. And I was just going to say, you definitely have had probably a lot more time with your new Apex than you ever did on your 350, because pretty soon after we met and I was like, hey, you want to go detecting? I can't even remember exactly, but I think, didn't I let you use my Apex first?
Yeah, I don't know that. Once I started going out on hunts with you,
and then
definitely I was using your Apex.
Yeah, and then once you started using that, then she was like, okay, I want to buy a machine. Which one machine do you recommend for me? And we decided on the Apex. And then now I think you're even considering maybe getting like possibly an AT Pro for some river or water detecting as well. But
yeah, I can see that could be my next machine for sure. I wish now that I have this Apex that has the rechargeable battery. That just seems so much nicer than having to replace the batteries. I don't know how long batteries last in the machines, but
they last quite a long time. I would say sometimes it really depends on what type of batteries you buy. I've found that in most of the Garretts, the Duracell seem to last the best for me.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the pinpointers and the AT Pro or the AT Max, they will last me many outings. I noticed the other day I got in a pinch and I didn't have extra batteries when we were in Louisiana, except for I had some little Dollar Tree Panasonic cheap batteries, and those lasted me one day. So
gotcha. Right.
It's just not worth putting those in my machine unless it's emergency. So I guess for a backup, they're fine. But yeah, I just love the Apex. That's what I loved about the Apex so much, is being able to plug it in. And I'm sure you also, as opposed to your 350, is you've gotten used to the wireless headphones as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's nice to not feel like you're so tethered to
the machine.
To
Right.
the machine. And it's just one more thing to get tangled up
Yes.
in.
Right.
I don't know.
So,
I don't know how many times I've been out in the woods when I had, the gray ghosts or whatever connected to the machine and be like, all of a sudden they get ripped from my head because a branch caught the wire or
Oh,
something.
right.
Right.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah, you're definitely getting spoiled with the Apex. And so, since you've gotten that machine and you want to tell them about some of your first finds, I know that.
Oh, sure.
I know that Amanda's got some questions for you as well, but you want to tell them about your first find in your backyard? I mean, your front yard.
Oh, yeah. The first find with the Apex in my front yard was a mercury dime. And my home is 1958 when it was built, and so I was completely in shock when I found that. I mean, of course, but that was pretty sweet. But my first find with my 350, because I did use it briefly before I started going out with and using your Apex. But my 350, I was determined. I was like, I'm going to learn how to use this. I'm going to put the time in. And I was taking a trip back home to Missouri, or actually to northeast Arkansas, where my sister lives. And I thought, I'm going to take it with me, and I'm going to find, it's a beautiful area. I'm going to find a nice park to go to and just put some time in. And so I did that, and I found a few coins. I had the best luck in the tot lot because it had pea gravel. And so it was easier for me with my little hand shovel to dig around to find it, because I tried the sandy area of this little beach around this little lake in this park, but I didn't have a sand scoop, and I didn't have a shovel. All I had was this little hand trowel and a really poor pinpointer. But anyway, I found a few coins, and there's some inspiration, right? And so then, as I was there on that visit, I had seen on the news how low the Mississippi River was, and I'm just fond of that river. It just brings back so many memories to me. And my sister and I had driven to Memphis, and so we had driven over this bridge into Memphis, and you could see, there was my first glance at the river, and I saw how low it was, and I thought, oh my God, I have got to go detect at this river, since you can walk out about a half a mile, and so I asked my brother and I asked my sister, I said, where should I go? And so they both, at separate conversations, said, you should go to this, where we used to get on the ferry to go across into Tennessee when we were kids. And so I was like, okay, sounds like that's where it's meant to be. And so anyway, so I go by myself, and I get out there with my little Ace 350 and my little plug-in headphones and my little digging trowel and my crappy pinpointer. And so, lo and behold, I mean, I definitely found some sinkers and maybe a penny or two. And then I got this signal that I decided to go after, and it was this really cool light off of a boat. And in my research, I've learned that it's prior to the 1960s, so it very well, could have been, I want to kind of fantasize that maybe it was on one of those ferries that we went across, and so that is this piece that I will never forget. It's my first little treasure, and I've turned it into a table light, and I get tons of compliments on it, and that was with that 350. So I have to give it some praise, no doubt.
Awesome.
And I love that little thing, that red light. and the way you've made it into a lamp. And so Jackie has a studio where customers come in as well, and they compliment it. And so she talks to all of her clients about,
oh yeah, it's like show and tell every day.
Right.
Right,
So
and now they're starting to come in and they ask. They're like, "Well, have you been on any adventures? What do you have to show us?"
That's cool.
So, yeah. So coming up, before we get, that was just such a really cool piece. And I know you sent it into Garrett for Garrett's Find of the Month. And even though that they did not pick her, they did share that not too long ago. Garrett shared that photo and that story that she sent in and wrote for that, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I did too, and I was holding out. I was ready to move to the next level as far as the detector, but I thought, sure enough, I've got a great story. It's heartfelt, and then what a cool find it is too. But yeah, didn't win. But then I immediately bought the Apex.
Yeah. So, of course, you bought the Apex from me, and just to go ahead and put that in, I know a lot of you, it's that season again. You're getting out this spring and starting to metal detect. You're in the market for a metal detector. Let me know. We at Digger's Den carry all brands of metal detectors, not just Garrett. So I can help you with any of your metal detecting needs. Just let me know. You can contact me through Messenger, or you can contact me through my email address, and I will be happy to get you the best possible price for what you need. I'm typing my email in here. So if you are in the market, maybe you're getting a tax refund back, you're ready to upgrade or whatever, I'd love to help you. Plus, just keep in mind, this is all I do now is my YouTube channel, and I sell metal detectors, and I paint paintings to make extra money to have gas to go on some of these metal detecting trips. So I really, really do appreciate your business, and I'd love to help you with your next metal detecting supplies. Sorry about that, Jackie.
Oh, no worries. No, Digger's Den has been my go-to. That's where I bought my Apex. I bought the pinpointer through Digger's Den, and then I bought the Brute magnet, for magnet fishing, that's been a fun thing to do. And so I'm just impressed with that, the prices and how quickly that your items get to you as well.
And yeah, and then if you have any questions, you can always, contact me. Where a lot of times if you go and you just jump on Amazon or First Place, you may not be able to ask questions or get help. So yeah, I'm there to help if I can, for sure. So happy birthday, Becca. Day after your birthday.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday. I do have a question for you, Jackie. So I know you got to attend the Garrett hunt, right?
Yes, I sure did.
And now, is that the first hunt besides Gypsy's hunt that you've been to?
It is.
But now, what'd you think?
That was my first. I thought, it's a whole different world, right? Just learning about this hobby, from the slang words to, what this the hunt kind of reminded me of is when we were young, my parents were big CB radio people because that was just popular, in the 70s. And so we would go to these jamborees. And so it kind of reminded me like of a jamboree, but I learned a lot. I think it probably helped me just learn a bit more about my detector, spending more time behind it and knowing, sort of what some of the targets were going to be. But I had a blast, and I know everybody always talks about the